Yelena Belova was a young woman who felt something missing deep inside her, a strange emptiness that kept bothering her. The movie begins with her sitting alone on top of the tallest building in the city, looking lost and confused. Then suddenly she jumps off, but she isn't trying to die, she's wearing a parachute. She lands safely on the roof of another building, where a guard sees her parachute. Before he can react, Yelena attacks him from behind and kills him silently. This building is actually a secret research center that belongs to a group called X. She breaks in and attacks everyone inside, talking non-stop about the emptiness in her life, saying their lives are also meaningless, just like hers. She keeps speaking while completing her mission. Then, suddenly, a doctor spots her and asks if Valentina sent her. That's when we learn about Valentina, a smart and powerful woman who had sent Yelena for this job. Valentina later tells the doctor that the US government now controls the place and that she's tired of doing this kind of work. She wants to destroy it all. The doctor refuses, so he and Yelena get into a serious fight. During the fight, the doctor gets shot and Yelena uses his face to pass the security scanner. As she walks out of the building, it explodes behind her. Her mission is now complete. Interestingly, during all of this, Yelena keeps commenting and talking like she's trying to stay connected to herself. In the next scene, we see a man called Mr. Boss speaking to the media. He says he's deeply sorry about the incident and that an investigation is happening. After that, there's a hearing where Valentina is being questioned. She's being blamed for breaking serious rules. They accuse her of running illegal labs through the X group in many foreign countries where secret experiments are being done. Valentina defends herself and says America has no superhumans or magical heroes to protect people like the Avengers, so she's trying to build defense systems for the country's safety. She tells Mr. Gray not to interfere in her work and insists she's doing it all for her nation. Inside the courtroom, she acts tough, but the moment she steps outside, she gets scared. She tells her assistant that all the evidence must be erased and nothing should be left behind that can be used against her. Her assistant Mel informs her that, luckily, the lab has already been destroyed, and the US government has no access to any data from the X company. In the next part, we meet a man named Alexei Red Guardian, Yelena's father. He is surprised and happy to see Yelena after a long time. She asks him questions, stands near an old red campaign vehicle, and laughs at the idea that this old thing is now meant to protect people. She questions him about his work, and he reminds her about his past, when he used to fight for the country and save the weak. Yelena, however, is tired. She doesn't want to do these missions anymore. She tells Valentina the same thing, that she's exhausted and doesn't want to continue. But Valentina says this is her last project and promises her peace after it's done. She tells Yelena about a hidden bunker deep in the mountains, where all the secrets of the X group are kept. She also warns Yelena about a powerful agent who is hiding and hacking into the system. Valentina allows Yelena access through a biometric system so she can get inside easily. Valentina is extremely smart and clever. In the next scene, we see a massive iron facility. Yelena scans herself and enters the main room. As she tries to collect some data, suddenly bullets start flying. The one shooting is Mr. USA, sent by Valentina to kill Yelena. But another person arrives, Taskmaster. Taskmaster tells Yelena that he didn't come to kill her, he came to kill Mr. USA. A fight breaks out among them while they keep talking to each other. Then we see someone named Ghost, who suddenly attacks and kills Mr. Taskmaster. At that moment, everything becomes clear. Valentina had used all four of them against each other so that no one could find proof against her. In the end, Ghost shoots Taskmaster and kills him. Meanwhile, a new person appears in the scene. A completely innocent man who looks totally lost. He has no idea where he is or how he got there. This film tells a deep and emotional story of Yelena Day, a woman lost in her own thoughts, used again and again for secret missions, who is now searching for peace, meaning, and freedom in a dangerous world full of lies, politics, and betrayal. As the movie continues, we see Valentina at a fancy party, which is supposed to be a charity event organized under the name of a trust and donation, but in reality she's there with a hidden agenda. While she's at the party, Mr. Gary arrives and tells her that someone has erased the evidence against her very cleverly, but he warns that he will keep investigating till the end. Valentina leaves silently with her assistant. Mel later meets a man named Boss Bucker, who gives her a card and tells her to stay in contact. Meanwhile, inside a secret bunker, one agent is already dead, 3 are still alive, and a mysterious man named Bob suddenly appears. At the same time, the doors to the bunker suddenly lock. Ghost tries to escape, but a voice warns her and the door won't open. Back at the party, Bucky and Mr. Gary have a conversation. Bucky is confident that this time they'll win and plans to get secrets out of Mel, but Mr. Gary advises caution and shows him a strong file prepared against Valentina. Meanwhile, Mel informs Valentina that the bunker gate is locked and all agents are trapped inside. Valentina coldly says, "Set it on fire." Inside the bunker, red lights flash and a 2-minute timer begins. The agents panic as the temperature rises and they realize something bad is about to happen. They figure out Valentina is trying to kill them to erase all traces of her past missions. They search for a tracker near the door, but as soon as they find it, the US agent destroys it. Ghost manages to slip outside and tries to open the door. The other agents inside start to doubt her, thinking she might betray them, but in the last few seconds, the door opens and they all rush out just in time, escaping the flames. At the same moment, Valentina touches Bob's hand, and suddenly she gets pulled into a memory from the past. She sees a girl who looks like Bob's sister. Valentina is shocked when she realizes Bob is one of the survivors from her old experiment. He was supposed to be dead, but somehow he lived, and that changes everything. She now wants Bob alive at any cost, because he's proof that her experiments worked. Valentina orders her assistant to call hold and send the full army to the bunker to kill the remaining agents. Meanwhile, inside the bunker, the 4 trapped agents question Bob about who he is and where he came from. Bob says he was part of the medical research program, but when he woke up, he found himself trapped here and doesn't know how he got there. The US agent gets angry and they all start joking around, pulling each other's leg with funny insults. Yelena comes in and calms them down, saying they need to trust each other if they want to escape. She tells Bob she feels empty inside and only darkness surrounds her. Bob calls her the Void. Yelena asks how he could explain that. Then the US agent finds a way to climb out. He starts going up a tall tunnel but falls back down. Bob gets an idea. The 4 of them join their backs and arms tightly and use each other's legs to climb up together. When they reach the top, they realize that only one person can go further. They argue, knowing that if one slips, all might fall. The US agent climbs first while the others nearly fall, but Yelena saves them just in time. As the US agent grabs the edge, he sees a memory from his past. He was taking care of his child while his wife yelled at him for being glued to his phone. The memory shakes him and he begins to fall, but Yelena catches him again and shouts, "What are you doing?" As they reach the top and look outside, they're shocked to see a huge military force waiting to shoot them. They know they can't escape from the front, so they need another plan. They start bragging about themselves to lift their spirits. The US agent claims he saved many lives and knows the president. Yelena says she's a former baseball champion. Ghost says she spent her life in prison. Bob admits he had a drug problem. They all begin to come together and make a new escape plan. Ghost heads outside to find a vehicle. At the same time, Valentina tells her men to capture Ghost alive. She's too valuable to lose. Suddenly, chaos breaks out as an army storms in. Inside the bunker, the 4 agents quickly change into soldier uniforms to blend in and avoid being caught. Ghost brings the vehicle and they all jump in. But just as they try to escape, something happens that changes everything once again. As soon as he steps out of the truck, he walks straight toward the entire army and pulls the fire alarm. Suddenly, gunfire bursts out from all sides, but shockingly, nothing happens to Verb. Even after falling down, he stands up again. Valentina wants to capture him alive, but he disappears. Now she starts tracking his location through satellites. Meanwhile, the 3 partners inside the truck reach a safe place and realize that Project Sentry by Ox was a massive secret experiment. They begin planning how to protect themselves, even considering changing their identities or homes. Verb had passed out midair and crashed onto the ground. The massive amount of data had already reached him and was being transferred to a hidden location where construction had been stopped. Valentina tells Mel that this is the perfect hiding spot. No one will ever suspect where the main board is. She asks Mel for updates on the other three, and Mel says there's still no sign of them. Elsewhere, those three are waiting for help when suddenly Red Guardian Alexei shows up and helps them. The group escapes in his old beat-up car, but Valentina's forces attack from behind. Alexei's car isn't bulletproof and is already in bad condition. Their car gets hit badly during the gunfire, but just then Bucky arrives to help. He takes down all of Valentina's attackers one by one and even rescues Alexei's car. He safely escorts them to a secure place and takes responsibility for protecting them. Meanwhile, Gary is seen speaking at a media press conference, vowing to expose Valentina no matter what. Valentina finally reaches her destination, a clock tower, where she plans to stabilize and control Bob. She keeps asking Mel for every detail and tells her the mission must be completed quickly. Suddenly, Valentina appears before Bob and says, "I'm Valentina." Bob is shocked and asks, "Are you here to kill me?" Valentina replies, "You need to hear the truth first." She explains that Bob came there for a medical study and they were performing experiments, and the experiment was successful on him. When Bob asks about his friends, she coldly tells him to forget them and tries to distract him with sweet talk. She reminds him of his past, his mother's mental condition, his drug addiction, police records, everything. Bob finally has enough and shouts at her to stop. Valentina says she just wants to keep him safe, and as she grabs his hand, powerful memories flash in front of her. Overwhelmed, she says she'll return soon. Valentina then tells Mel that by morning the media should be ready. She wants to present Bob as the perfect creation of her project. She demands the serum to be ready as well, the one that must be injected into him, but Mel says when they destroyed the evidence, the serum was thrown away too. Valentina doesn't accept that. She insists the serum must be ready by morning because she is determined to complete her mission at any cost. As the bus stops, Bucky brings the three back and accuses them of working with Valentina, but they tell him the truth. Valentina used all of them for her own mission, made them fight each other, and tried to get them killed by one another. They also mention the mysterious boy they had met earlier. Bucky doesn't believe them at first, thinking it's all lies, until Mr. USA silences everyone and asks them to calm down. Ghost also shares her part, saying she was knocked out after a big explosion near the mountains. Suddenly, a call comes in. It's from Mel. She has now switched sides and is working with Bucky to stop Valentina, knowing that her next move could cause massive destruction. Mel gives them the store location where Valentina's experiment is planned and tells them to get there with help and stop her at any cost. Hearing this, the trio looks at Bucky. He finally understands they're telling the truth, unties them, and agrees to join them. They all head to Ranger Tower in New York, ready to confront Valentina. When they arrive at her office, Valentina is surprisingly pleased. She thinks she's in full control and powerful enough to crush them. Suddenly, a strange man appears wearing an Avengers-style suit. This is Project Sentry. Valentina commands him to attack. Yelena tries to stop everyone, warning them they can't defeat him. But the group charges anyway. Project Sentry proves too strong, injures them badly, and leaves them feeling hopeless. They retreat, calling themselves losers. Meanwhile, Project Sentry starts questioning Valentina too. When she tries to force her orders on him, he grabs her neck and threatens her. At that moment, Mel steps in and knocks him unconscious. Valentina, instead of being angry, praises Mel and gives her a raise. She orders the place to be cleaned up. As she walks out, someone tells her they didn't find Walker's body. This shocks her. At the same time, a dark shadow begins to form in the sky. Elsewhere, Alexei and Yelena are remembering their childhood together and become emotional. Suddenly, the dark energy crashes down and destruction begins. Mr. USA realizes that Void has taken over Bob's body and is now the real threat. Bob is the only one Yelena decides to face. As she enters his mind, she walks through memories and finds Bob sitting alone. He tells her, "This isn't me. This is the emptiness inside me." Yelena understands, as she too has felt that emptiness from the start. Outside, The Rangers hesitate but finally decide to follow and go inside Void's world. Meanwhile, Bob and Yelena are attacked. The full Avengers-like team arrives just in time, saying they too had sensed something strange. Whoever touches Void gets lost in their past memories. The team starts asking Void for a way out, but he doesn't respond. During the fight, they all end up inside the secret lab where Bob's experiment had first been done. Bob remembers everything now. Void captures them, refusing to let them go. He wants to destroy everyone. Bob begins to talk with him, trying to stop the destruction. Mr. USA, watching this from the side, understands how powerful Void is, and how little of the real Bob is left. He tries to make Bob angry, so that his inner strength grows and overcomes Void. As their battle intensifies, Bob's power begins to shine. Good slowly pushes out evil. Void starts to disappear, but the destruction gets worse. The team gets trapped and can't escape. Bob can't stop either. Yelena, using all her strength, breaks through her binds, runs to Bob and tells him, "We're all here for you." The team joins in and their support brings Bob back. Together, they manage to defeat Void. The dark shadow over New York finally disappears, and peace returns. In the end, Valentina is seen holding a press conference. Bob and Yelena now understand each other better, and the whole team celebrates. But suddenly, strange noises draw their attention. Valentina continues her speech, claiming she saved the city, and introduces a new Avenger-style team to the public, even though she didn't really help. Nako watches from a distance, furious that Valentina is once again using everyone for her own gain. She whispers, "You won't get away with this next time." And with that, the movie ends with a powerful message. No matter how strong evil becomes, it can never win